This video is going to show you the details on the new weekly Pinnacle mission that's for the season, which is called Sever. This mission is very similar to Presage, if you remember that, where it involves shooting a lot of fuses and getting buffs and stuff to bypass certain sectors. So at the start bit, just follow the route that I'm taking. You need to place these amplifiers, right? So you need to go around the ship, sort of like puzzle based, I suppose. Once you know where everything is, though, you know. We're going to shoot these fuses here. I don't want this video to focus on my build and what I'm using that way, as it's kind of irrelevant, and also Solar 3.0 just came out, so you know, I don't want to really discuss too much. You can use anything in this. You don't need to prioritize a good loadout. I was just using what I had on, and the ads, as I said, they're not going to hit you hard or anything, so that's fine. There's no timer as well, like there was with Presage or any other type of mission that you can think of like that. But you do get these, as I say, these buffs where you get the Egregore link, whatever it's called. This little section here, you just need to kill loyalists, so you can see it's just a percentage based. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. This video is more about route. If you haven't done it and you're not sure, then you can see where the route is that I'm taking, and it just saves you time. Because the first time you run it, it might take you a little bit to figure out and stuff, but I say once you know, you know. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward, just clearing the loyalists. I wouldn't say that this mission is as long as Presage either, but it's very similar to it, obviously, with the same sort of mechanics and the feel to it. Just clearing out these last loyalists. The lights will go dark, then you're on the next wave, that's how you know. And it's just same again, you're clearing out the ads. As I said, anything you want to use. It's not that important. I'm using mainly, I suppose if we're going to talk build a little bit, I'm using mainly Ignite and Scorch stuff. So for on a hunter right now, I've got Solar Grenade on. That adds your Scorch stacks to enemies. Then I've got Echo, it might be Blistering or something, adds more Scorch stacks when you are stacking the Scorch on enemies. And then I've got the Ignite for your super, so when you use your super you ignite the enemies. But if you kill Ignite enemies with another fragment I've got, which is, I showed at the start of the video, I get grenade energy when I kill enemies that are ignited. Not only that, you see there's Gunpowder gamble, so this basically means, you saw it's like a Vex Meeper class thing on the left hand side. You know, when you use Vex you get that the square boxes. With the same thing for this, but you need to activate it via solar ability kills or solar weapon kills, so it can actually work that way. Then you can have a superpower grenade. Lo and behold, I missed it. That would happen, wouldn't it? But I end up using it later on in the video to see a bit more gameplay of it, I guess. This is the Ultra. Also we've got Acrobat, the Acrobat dodge on, which makes you radiant for 10 seconds when you use it. Very good. Very good to use. And we're using Barrage Super. This little segment here, you can't do anything, you need to let it play out. So this is just Cade's Nightmare. Cade, what am I about Cade? Crow's Nightmare, talking to him. So let that play out, you will then proceed to the next section. So I'll just let that talk out.
As we slipped away from existence. Do you ever stop talking?
Once that's dealt with, the door will then open and you can then do the switches. So just activate them all. It's just a manual override thing. And then we need to get past this room. So to get past, you need to shoot one of the fuses. So it's not quite clear where that fuse is. I'm going to show you right now though, because you need to get the buff from the spores or whatever, right? But to do that you need to shoot that fuse I just shot, and then you come back to this little section here and you can get the buff, the spore buff, whatever it's called. That then can proceed you to the next room. So that's how you get past that. You can then plant another amplifier. Oh no, actually you don't plant another amplifier there. I think we're done with that. Then there's just this little tunnel section with the solar. There is no triumph for solo in this. There's no solar force emblem. There's no nothing like that for this difficulty. There may be a master difficulty come out. I'm not 100%. But as of now, there's nothing solar related to this. So that's just to put you at ease with that. It's not difficult, this mission, at all. It's more about the story elements to it and stuff that's cool. But it's not, as I say, a difficult mission that you need to be worrying about. It's more the route. The route's the most difficult thing. So this little section here is really cool as well, because you'll get a cabal. You'll get an enemy chasing you. The enemies from Leviathan. They're very similar to Royal Pearls. So you activate the manual override, then the enemy will chase you. He's immune. You cannot blind him. I'll show you that. Blinding aids don't work on him. So he'll just chase you. So he's there just to you have to avoid him. What I do is I come to the arc wall. Your goal is to take down this arc wall. And how do you do that? Well, you need to get the manual overrides. You can see I've already got one of them. You actually only need to get another 2 as the final manual overrides beyond that arc wall. However, you need another relic to bypass the power. So this is kind of cool. Now, what I've found is you need to search yourself for the overrides. Now, I kind of knew a little bit where they were, but eventually the checkpoint markers will come up once the dialogue's finished with the Nightmare of Uldren, I think, or shortly after. The game will actually show you where the checkpoint markers are. Right? I need to get another one, which I know it's in like a tunnel area. It's here somewhere. So again, just follow on screen where I'm going. There's only one more to get for now. Then we need the next relic. Actually, no, it's not in the tunnel area. This is where the relic is. So here's the relic, the wrench. Very cool. Very cool that there's an actual relic like this. I just wish we could do. I wish there was a bit more to the mission. I guess week upon week it may be different. Blah blah blah. I haven't really looked into that. But if it is, I think it is actually. There's different types of variants of this mission actually now that I come to. I saw a Triumph. This is just the one that's called Shame. So there's multiple missions of it. So they may get progressively harder. So not as hard. You know, it just depends. They're not really there for that. It's more the story elements to it, I suppose. And I do really like this. You know, carrying relics reminds me of Wrath of the Machine, which will come back. I believe they'll do that next year. That's what I think that will happen, because we're getting King's Fall this year. It'll probably just be Wrath next year. So this is the final manual override. Then we just follow the checkpoint marker. Checkpoint marker comes up. It's back to the original manual override you done, and then that opens the door. There is a boss fight, which is it's interesting, and it's Leviathan based. It's on one of the encounters, so that's also a good thing. There's a bunch of ads here. We'll just clear these out. Whatever weapons you've got, as I said, there's no pressure with it. You can actually go on a frenzy if you have Radiant. You can just spam your throwing knives. If you saw there, I actually got my throwing knife back when you have the buff Radiant. There's a whole host of things. Solar 3.0 has been good. I imagine it might be better on a Titan and a Warlock. I haven't played those two, only a Hunter so far. And don't get me wrong, I haven't played absolutely everything. I haven't played with all the fragments and worked out what's best, to be honest, right now.
Even by her.
I'm sure people have already worked all that out. So this is the boss fight. So we'll come to the Gauntlet section, which was an encounter from Leviathan. But you don't do it, obviously, anything like it. There's no mechanics, so to speak. So I'll just let this dialogue play out, and then obviously I'll continue the commentary. There is a banner to my left, but I don't need it. If you do, then use it.
Is this why you push so hard to remember me, little bird? So you could burn Uldren at the stake and prove your independence? It's the right thing to do. I have to. How many failed attempts to do the right thing before you realize Our fervor always backfires.
Mara had you wrapped around her finger. Everything I do is because I want to.
Sure. Outcome's the same, isn't it?
You cut out pieces of yourself until there was nothing left of your humanity. You enjoyed it. That's the difference.
Please. You'd swallow all those whiny little morals given the right push. You've come so close already. That's why you run.
I'm not running.
We'll see. Our legacy is calling.
So once dialogue finishes, then you'll get the boss to spawn in, which is it's a nightmare. Obviously, it's a nightmare of the fanatic. So I'm going to do a radiant here, then I'll use my grenade and a double rocket, and that will then send the boss. The boss then goes to where we would do the races in Gauntlet and stuff. Goes into that section. You'll get ads spawned as well. I can use my blinding nades, whatever. As I said, whatever you want to use ad clear wise, it absolutely doesn't matter. If anything, I would experiment with solo builds while you're doing stuff, especially when you're doing stuff that isn't very difficult at the start of the season. Just experiment with what's best and stuff like that. We use our blade here, Blade Barrage, which I'm actually happy with how this Blade Barrage works. It's had a huge buff. It's far better than what it used to be. I don't know if it's as powerful as it was in Forsaken levels. I'm not 100% on that, but it's still very fun to use from what I've seen. We do a radiant here. I missed my nade, unfortunately. The boss ran away. The nade's actually hard. The gunpowder nade is actually hard to use, or I'm just getting used to it, just throwing it and stuff. It doesn't have the same arc as like any other nade. Bit of heavy here. Boss is then immune. This boss is hard capped. You can't one phase it. Then you teleport it back outside. This is wave of ads. They don't spawn on all sides of this room, just one side. I usually take out the ogre first, the scorn one. There's a couple of snipers to worry about, but other than that, it's, as I say, pretty relaxed. So we'll just take them out from distance. Not a problem to do it. I wish there was more ads in this mission. As I said, it just depends on how far they go with it. With each week to see how, you know, obviously maybe they're giving us the easiest variant first, you know, fair enough. I wouldn't mind them doing a Nightmare Callus, because we've seen Nightmare Fanatic, we've seen Nightmare Crota, we've seen all those nightmares. Let's see a Nightmare Callus. If they do that and you fight him in his final boss room like in Leviathan, and there's at least some mechanics to the mission, then they've got it. We're on to something. Make him tanky, do all that stuff. That's going to be interesting. I hope that's what they do, like with the final variant of this mission. We'll see where they go with it. This is where you get the scythe, so you can just use it, you know. But it runs out obviously as well. You can even use it on the boss if you wish. Use our nade on the boss. It does huge damage. The grenade's insane. The gunpowder grenade. At this point you can just kill the boss actually, so just using a bit of galley now, I'll finish off with a blade and a galley. That's pretty much it. But anyways, that was the mission on it. As I said, my thoughts are it's interesting story wise, it's good, it's presage style, which you'll know that if you've watched me previously to Witch Queen and stuff like that. I used to run presage all the time on all classes, doing it different ways. But it was obviously a lot more challenging than what this mission is. Mainly because I had a timer, mainly because it was more ads, stuff like that. My reward when I opened this is where you get your Pinnacle, so this is my +2, which I ended up getting a trace rifle. So I'll just let the rest of the dialogue play out. But this mission's just more, this video is more just to show you the routing on the mission. That's literally it. And just showcasing it. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.
I'm going to enjoy ripping him out of me.
Try. I'll just burrow back in, over and over until I'm all you have.
Eris.
Retreat is not weakness. Breathe. We can try again in time.
Sorry I let you down.